Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Are we gonna have a better day on the Camino del Norte? Uh-oh. Hey, are we gonna have a better day? We're gonna have a better day, I'm sure of it. A girl can have a much better day if she slept in a castle. This is the Parador on the Camino del Norte. We're going to show you how to spend 2 weeks in Europe without any tourists, where you can collect all the stamps you want, earn a certificate of completion, see historical sites, get exercise, and enjoy Europe your way.
Hola, buenos dias.
Hello and good morning.
I'm Brian.
I'm Michelle.
And we are cruising with the Colemans.
Today we are cruising along, showing you how you could spend 2 weeks in Spain.
We are walking the Camino del Norte, which is an ancient pilgrimage route that goes all across the entire north coast of Spain, starting in Irún on the border with France.
That's where we started. We started walking in Irún, so if you're just joining us, welcome. We've got a lot to tell you about today. If you want to know more about walking the whole pilgrimage, go back to the beginning and check it out.
All right, we got a long way to walk today, so vamos, let's get started.
Just follow the yellow brick road. Okay, it's not yellow.
In 2002, the Camino de Santiago became a World Heritage Site, and many of the villages and towns along the way also have reached that status. So there's lots of history and lots of culture to explore all along the Camino. Plus, some of the biggest archaeological sites in Europe are here too.
On the Norte route, the quiet, but yet the history, it's a great balance of the two. You really get to spend some time thinking about the importance of where you are. Just continue to follow the yellow brick road. I know, it's still not yellow. The complete walk on the Camino del Norte from Irún to Santiago de Compostela is 820 kilometers.
But you can start anywhere along the route that you want. Some popular starts are San Sebastian or Santander or even Gijón or Oviedo. However, for this 2-week trip that we're talking about, we recommend that you start in Vilalba,
which is spelled like this.
Now, while you're here in Galicia, the primary language is Spanish. However, you will see and hear quite a bit of Galician also. The town of Vilalba is our recommended starting point for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's about 120 kilometers from there to Santiago. So as we said, 5 to 6 walking days, depending on how many kilometers a day you want to do.
The other reason is it's a really vibrant town. You're going to get a lot of types of food. It's got a great city center, and it's going to have some shops if there's any last minute things that you need. And it also gives you just a little bit of a head start before the next day, which is gonna have a big hill. So rather than starting on a day with a big hill, starting here is gonna give you a little bit of warm up on your legs.
Yeah, today's walk has been very easy.
Yes. Tomorrow, a little bit bigger hill.
Here is what your 2-week itinerary of walking the Camino del Norte might look like.
Okay, first we've got about 2 days for you to get to the starting point, which is the town of
Vilalba.
And that is more or less, depending on where you're coming from, got a little bit of wiggle room in there if you need it.
You're gonna have a bunch of planes flying.
Depending on where you're coming from.
Depending on where you're coming from, flying into either A Coruña or Santiago de Compostela.
Which you won't see Santiago, so don't worry.
Don't worry. And then either a train or a couple of buses to get to Vilalba.
This walk is gonna take you about 6 days, more or less, depending on how many kilometers you wanna walk.
Once you have arrived in Santiago de Compostela, definitely plan at least 1 full day there. So you're gonna want 2 nights, maybe even 3, and explore the city and explore everything that Santiago has to offer.
Of course, make sure you go to the Pilgrim office and get your Compostela because you've earned it. You walked 100 kilometers, which is the minimum requirement in order to earn a Compostela.
Now, after Santiago, you've still got about 5 or 6 days left on your 2-week trip. So you've got a couple of options there too. You could walk to Finisterre.
It's a beautiful walk.
You could bus to Finisterre and Muxía.
So the question is, do you want more walking time or do you want more beach time? Whew, that's a tough decision.
You could use that extra time to explore other parts of Spain, such as Madrid or Bilbao.
We're giving you a lot of options here. Don't let it overwhelm you. The most simplistic way to do it would be walk to Santiago, enjoy that time. If you've enjoyed the walk, keep walking to Finisterre, take a bus over to Muxía and enjoy some coastal time. And all of this, the most crowds you're gonna have are gonna be in Santiago and maybe in Finisterre, but it's a small village, so it's not gonna be the crowds like Santiago.
The best time of year to walk? Well, for us, it's the only time in the summer since we're both teachers. However, late May is often very pleasant. The end of July is the feast day of Santiago on the 25th. So that's when Santiago is at its busiest, but that's also when it's at its most beautiful and most interesting. The final time that's really popular to walk for a lot of pilgrims is August, September, and October. The weather tends to be a little bit drier, and sometimes the temperatures might be a little bit more pleasant.
Either way, whatever you pick, this would be a fantastic way to enjoy a little bit of quiet, a lot of local area, and a little bit of people in the area of Santiago. No, you're not gonna follow the yellow brick, but you are gonna follow the yellow shells all the way to Santiago.
As we walk these last 6 days into Santiago, the villages are pretty frequent, and as you're walking each day, you're gonna have several options to stop along the trail for a snack or for lunch as you walk past. Like today, in 20 kilometers, we're walking past, I think, 4 or 5 bar cafes.
Now, I would always make sure you have some snacks in your bag because in case, something is closed, you just never know.
Sundays and Mondays, things tend to be closed.
So always, that's just a pro tip no matter what, always have some trail mix. And you can find trail mix and some cookies and some Aquarius at any grocery store.
Lodging on the Camino Santiago is a breeze.
You have a lot of options that fit a lot of budgets. So if you want private rooms and you want either a private room with a private bathroom, private room with a shared room, you're gonna spend anywhere from 50 euro to, in the bigger city like Santiago, 100 euro a night.
Or 300 or 400 a night if you're staying at the Parador.
There you go. And if you stayed in the Parador to begin your Camino, hey, that's a great bookmark. You could begin and end your Camino in the Parador. And if that's your kind of budget, please like, subscribe, and donate to our channel.
There are also albergues that are range from donativo to communal. Here in Galicia, a communal albergue is standardized. I think it is 12 euro a night now. And private albergues can run 15 to 20 a night for a bunk bed in a shared room.
You can also in an albergue get a private room. Some of them, not all of them, but many of them have a private room, or they'll have on the Norte route, they've had hotels like attached to it. So you can, like tonight, not tonight, but tomorrow night, we're spending the night where we're in a private apartment, but there is an albergue that it's attached to. So you have options. The one thing the Norte doesn't have, because again, you're doing this to have more of a solo journey, not a lot of communal meals, which is something you find in the Camino Frances. Camino Frances is all about the community. Camino Norte is all about you.
How in the world are you going to find your way on the Camino del Norte?
Do you want to carry a book with you, or do you want to use an app? You've got options.
We have been using the Cicerone Camino del Norte guidebook, but there are several other great guidebooks out there. There's one from Village to Village that we also highly recommend.
Absolutely.
And there are apps.
2 apps, one is free, one is paid. The Wise Pilgrim app has been great to give us a lot of information along the way. And that's the one that you pay for. I think it's...
Not very expensive.
Yeah, maybe $8.
Oh, I don't think it's that much.
Okay, it's this much right now. And then the other app that's free is the Buen Camino app. Now, here's what you have to know. Everything's gonna differ.
Yeah, the guidebook and the 2 apps often don't agree on the route markers. We have found that the Wise Pilgrim paid app often disagrees from the arrows that are on the road. So,
and you know what? When you walk this, it may be that they agree. Who knows?
Who knows?
Because they changed the routes. If you're watching the whole series, you know that there have been route changes. So who knows?
And Google Maps also can be helpful sometimes, especially if you're looking to make maybe a little shortcut or shave a kilometer or 2 off or shave some meters of elevation off. So we use a combination of all of those. They're all linked down in the description below.
Well, and Google Maps will also help you get directly to your hotel, your lodging. The lodging markers are on the Wise Pilgrim app. However, it may not be all the lodging in your village, town, whatever. So make sure you've got a way to know how to get there.
The most disappointing day on the Camino is always the day you think you have reached your destination, only to find out that your actual lodging is another kilometer down the road. Because that last kilometer will get you every time.
It's kind of like if you're running a half marathon. It's that last 1/10 of a mile that gets you. But make sure you have a phone card. We use eSIM cards, and we use the Orange Holiday Plan. So that's an easy way to keep your phone, or you could just keep your phone on if you know what it costs from wherever you're coming from.
The Orange plan is much cheaper than our US international plan though. What do you need to walk on the Camino del Norte?
Clothes.
Clothes, like 2 or 3 total outfits, because you're going to do mostly wash and wear.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your comfort level. So if you're comfortable just hand washing your clothes, then keep your backpack simple, wash and wear. We've done that on plenty of Caminos. If you want a little bit more luxury, you can take 2, 3, even 4 or 5 outfits if you use the luggage service. So we'll link our video on using Correos luggage service in the description.
And our Camino packing videos.
So there are several options for you, but you're a pilgrim now. If you're doing this 2-week Spanish vacation, the style that we're suggesting, you're a pilgrim. So wash and wear, keep it simple if you choose.
Speaking of which, I stink. Let's get cleaned up.
Let's go.
Whoa, I hope we look a lot better. Thanks for watching.
There's a lot of links down in the description that will help you plan your 2 weeks walking from here to Santiago and on to Finisterre and Muxia, or checking out some other big cities. So make sure you go through those links below. And obviously, leave us a question because we want to help you spend 2 weeks in Spain.
Make sure that you watch the rest of this series to see how we arrive in Santiago. But we're going to play out today with just a couple of views of our last 4 days on the Camino del Norte and 100K. Hola, buenos dias. Okay.
You're wasting walking time.
And action.
Okay, go.
Action.